Hi, so today I will make beet kvas, that is fermented beets. As you know, I like to recommend consuming fermented foods to restore your gut microbiome. I already made a video about kefir, another video about raw yogurt, homemade yogurt, and a video about sauerkraut. So the recipe is very simple. You take fresh beets like that. You can peel them or you can leave the skin if you want, if it's organic, but I personally prefer to remove the skin even if it's organic because they still use some chemicals. So as I said, the recipe is very simple. You need only three ingredients: beets, water, and salt. You can also add a ferment like whey. If you make kefir or if you make raw yogurt, you can put 1 tablespoon of whey in the beet kvass to speed up the fermentation. So you will cut the beets in pieces, medium-sized pieces. You don't want big pieces nor small pieces. You want medium size because if they are too small, the fermentation can go wrong and you can get some mold. Now you want to use a glass jar like this one. This one is quite big, it's like 3 liters. And you want to fill up the beets until like 1/3 to half of the jar. Like here, it's almost half of the jar. You don't have to fill up that much. As I said, you can just put the beets to like 1/3 of the jar like that. It doesn't matter. And you want to fill up the jar with water, pure water, either distilled water or mineral water, spring water, filtered water. You don't want to use tap water, that is really toxic. You don't want to use tap water for any of your fermentations. Now I will use salt, unrefined sea salt. So you use salt to limit the yeast and mold. So you will have mostly the bacteria, the type of bacteria that is lactobacillus for the fermentation. That is what you want when you make ferments. So it's exactly the same principles as when you make sauerkraut or any other ferments with vegetables. It's only 3 ingredients: the vegetables, water, and salt. Now you want to stir so that you mix the salt with the rest of the beet and the water, and you will let it sit for a few days. I won't completely close the lid here because I want the excess gas to escape the jar. And yeah, you just let it sit for 1 day or 2 or 3. It depends where you live. It depends the temperature where you live. The warmer it is, the less time it will take to ferment. So if you live in a very warm area, it will be ready in 24 hours. And otherwise, 2 days or 3 days. You just need to taste it to taste if the fermentation is done. If it just tastes like water and salt, keep it on the counter to ferment some more. So as you saw, I used only 3 ingredients here: water, salt, and beets. But as I told you in the beginning of this video, you can also add a ferment like whey. This is quite a big jar, it's about 3 liters. So for 3 liters, you can use like 3 tablespoons of whey from kefir or yogurt. So why should you use whey? It's just easier to make your ferments with whey or another ferment because then it will ferment faster and you will have less chance to get mold. Now, why beets? Sally Fallon, the founder of the Weston A. Price Foundation, explains in her book Nourishing Traditions that beets are great for the liver. They clean the liver and they also clean the blood, they purify the blood. So after the first fermentation, you can use the beets again to make a second batch. You just need to empty the liquid from the jar. You keep the beets in the jar and you add new water to make a new batch. So the beets, you use them twice. You use the same beets for 2 batches. Sally Fallon recommends to drink 2 glasses per day to strengthen your immune system, and also if you took antibiotics to rebuild your gut flora. So 2 small glasses per day, you take like a regular glass and you fill it up to half of it and you drink it morning and night. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I see you in the next video. Bye bye.